Hello, folks, and welcome to another Bitcoin market analysis by Inspocrypto. Well, it's a very important week, and we have received the first data, not indicating that things are just, you know, looking better. We have seen the USCB consumer confidence. Um, Previously, we had 98.4. They forecasted 97.2, and we did 95.7. That's really low, very, very low. I mean, um, if we check just the data of the last years, um, we will find the lowest in the last few years was 86.9. That was April 2020. And I mean, related to the COVID crash, you remember in March, they did 120 in March, and it dumped very hard from 120 to almost 87. Afterwards, it lifted up a little bit, and so on and so forth. Even if we check, for example, the last data from April 2020, we had 107.3 and now 95.7. That's very ugly, in my opinion. It's, of course, another data, it's another puzzle piece, and we, we have this week is going to be really crazy in my opinion because we still have a lot of different events coming to us. Tomorrow is going to be extremely important. We can see that the markets are at the moment reacting very cool, but I have also mentioned that the VIX is going to lift up, and that's in my opinion just the start. This week VIX should go up even more and more and more, also indicating some fear in the markets and volatility will rise. We see what Bitcoin at the moment is doing. It's retesting the bottom trend line here. In my opinion, at the moment, it's going to be a bear trap. We will see what's going to happen with SPY, DXY, SPX, but in my opinion, tonight we should lift up. Maybe I'm wrong with that because I'm not going to short directly from here. I'm still expecting it. And have a plan and stick to it. So even if I'm missing to have an optimized short entry at almost 21k, as I'm expecting a big dump, I mean, really a very aggressive one, um, it's fine. We can go to 20,000 and start to short there if I see they are starting to push down. In my opinion, it's not going to happen today. So that's why I'm not shorting at the moment. I just bought some QNT, some quant. They did a great um, exit pump because that's what's happening at the moment. I'm expecting such kind also in different alts. So as soon as Bitcoin moves a little bit up, in my opinion, not every, but many alts will push up. That's an exit. Don't be confused because of that. Don't think that's going to be, you know, the next big rally. It's not going to happen. Mark my words. But of course, it's your money and make your own conclusions. I'm not ready to short from here. Not yet. Even I know this week is going to trigger something really big. I have mentioned that. I have called just last Thursday or Friday that VIX is going to lift up very hard. I have called that Bitcoin is going to go down very hard. Even I think we will see a push up first, I think after Wall Street today, but also here we need to be patient and wait and to see what's going to happen. I have called that SPX is going to dump very hard. We will see if I'm right or if I'm wrong. Well, let us go forward. I have tweeted about that today already about the wealth ratio 30 days moving average and a little bit as expected. I mean, I had said yesterday in my analysis it would surprise me if it goes up because usually when it starts to decline means the whole preparation, that's the only thing that wealth ratio is showing you. That's a preparation. The whole preparation, and that's a huge one. It's the biggest preparation we have seen in years, and the preparation is done. Afterwards, it takes a little bit execution. Execution means all these bitcoins they sent before to exchanges, they will start to dump them. And that matches very well to what I'm expecting this week. So it's declining right now. It looks very solid. It would really surprise me if the price maintains in that sideways run and it goes up again. I mean, everything is possible, but it would really surprise me. In my opinion, many insiders here, they know exactly what's happening to the economy and they were preparing all the way. Well, not up, but well, yeah, it's a little bit up. However, they did that once. We know what happened afterwards. Preparation, execution. Preparation, execution. We will see how far they want to push the price down, but I'm absolutely convinced that they will trigger this week something that's going to push us down for a while. And in my opinion, it's going to be aggressive. It's not going to happen like, it's going to be like the last time. It's not going to be such like a little bit sideways run, more dump, a little bit sideways run, more dump, just showing more distribution. I think they want to trigger now the panic sell and they want to push down. But as usual, make your own conclusions. Trade my data, don't trade my opinion. You see what they did. And now we can also see they are reducing it, while at the same time we can see they are more hitting to the upside, indicating the pressure is here. That's the 1 hour time frame. So also indicating here that at the moment they are pushing. We will see how far they want to push today, but in my opinion, we are not going to 20,000, but maybe I'm wrong. We will see. However, the wealth ratio 30 hours moving average lifted up, indicating also here short-term preparation and that sequence here, and afterwards they declined, indicating they are done. What happened? The price dumped. Now it's a little bit sideways run, so they lifted up a little bit, so declining a little bit again, lifts up, and now declining a little bit. That's what it does and what the wealth ratio is showing you. The stablecoin reserves on exchanges, as you see, it maintained relatively stable. It declined, it lifted up again. I have said that doesn't look very organic. So in my opinion, that looks much more um, exchanges refilling their reserves, maybe because they are expecting something big also. And that looks here more organic in my opinion, indicating someone is sending money to centralized exchanges to, I don't know, to pump, to absorb. Also here we need to see. the stablecoin supply, even if it's looking like, you know, we are minting billions, it's just about 500 millions as mentioned, but also here it declined. We have seen today 100 million less BUSD in the market. That's the biggest one since weeks that they burned. That's it. Let us go forward. Also here to the flow activity, mm, some of you are surprised that we are not seeing here any huge inflow. And that's why I use the waste ratio, because the waste ratio shows you the preparation. It doesn't show you if we have 200,000 bitcoins waiting there to dump. It shows you more the sentiment of whales. When the whales ratio is lifting up, it just means they are preparing something. As that was just a very trivial example, but that's how it works. They send 10,000 bitcoins, they distribute 5,000 or 6,000 with low volume, for example, or relatively low volume. The price moves. You think they distributed everything, but they hold 4,000 in centralized exchanges. They do such kind of operation many times. Well, maybe not per day, but once per day. And over weeks, they are accumulating bitcoins on the exchanges. They can even use derivative exchanges. We know exactly that Binance, for example, even if they are just separating spot from derivative, it's very easy to send from derivative, for example, directly to a spot. If we check, and I have mentioned that just last week, Thursday, I think I tweeted such an analysis about exchange reserves, and we have seen that first of all, we can just take a look on CryptoCrunch. That's something I'm missing on CryptoCrunch. You can check spot and derivatives reserves separately. That's cool. But if I go to Binance, I just can check Binance reserves. I can't check Binance spot reserves and Binance derivative reserves because that would be extremely useful in such kind if we see the derivative reserves related to bitcoins on Binance is reducing, but at the same time the spot Bitcoin reserves are rising, we know they are shifting Bitcoins from derivative to spot, something we can't track because I don't know, nobody is tracking that, unfortunately. That will be for me one of the futures I would immediately start to implement if, of course, it's possible because that would be extremely useful. So we don't know. We can just track the Binance Bitcoin reserves, but it's a combination of derivative and spot. Or we can check the aggregated reserves on spot exchanges, but the problem here is it's aggregated. So we have some exchanges, for example, they have and they are showing declining reserves, Bitcoin reserves on spot, okay? But then, for example, on Binance, maybe we don't know that um, it's rising, and that would be extremely valuable if we could see that, but we can't. I don't have yeah, I don't have seen any um, servers, metrics servers, operator, whatever that's providing that kind of data. That's something I would like to realize in the future, but yeah, that can take time. However, they can do that. We don't know if they are going to do that or not. That's a big problem. So let us go forward And let us check what happened here. The volume declined as mentioned several times. We had here 1,600 bitcoins. That was the biggest here with 1,500. That was tonight. Afterwards, that was 1,176 just 5 hours ago, and that's it. Everything else just few hundreds, and that's it. Even related to stablecoins, a lot of stablecoin outflows that correlates with the inflows. So they sold, someone sent stablecoins to buy, and that's it. That's the whole story. Nothing else happened. Only related to outflows, and we can see, and that matches very well here to the inflows, outflows of stablecoins. They sold afterwards, they withdraw it. So the biggest withdrawal operation related to Bitcoin today was also at this morning 3,200 Bitcoins. That's it. Nothing else. Let us go forward. So let us start with the funding rate. The funding rate, as you mentioned, as you remember, and I have mentioned, um, yeah, jumped very hard to the upside. Afterwards, it dumped, lifted up, and dumped afterwards. It correlates very well to the price. Maybe not exactly that part here because the price just went, well, not really, didn't went hard to the upside, but it showed just such kind of bullish trend to the upside. But it, you know, however, many were expecting more, it seems, and they were demanding more longs than shorts. If we take a look, open interest is dying. It's really dying. It's really sad to see that, but I can imagine that people are placing less because, I don't know, they were just, scalping longs and shorts all the time. That's frustrating. And yeah, so I can imagine that many just stayed away, and that maybe could explain why the open interest is falling so hard. However, when I'm talking and saying so hard, if we check here, we had that level already just almost 2 weeks ago. If we check the leverage ratio, it declined. I mean, we can just to check even on a better way, we can check the daily and we can see the leverage ratio. The leverage ratio maintains a very high level, still close to the all-time high, while the open interest maintains here at the moment, and we can see that the level, I would say, we had last year. Last year we were here, so it's maybe a little bit higher, but that's it. And open interest just means the count of contracts, doesn't mean if it's long or short, right? So, and well, the funding rate maintains, the aggregated at least, maintains a very stabilized level. We can see here as well that the flow activity related to derivative exchanges for stablecoin, but also bitcoins, declined very much. So here we can see someone took profit, and we can check how much we are. Oh, okay, 300 million, and here another 170 millions, and here related to bitcoins, 3,300 bitcoins, but it's not that big anymore. Absolutely not. So let us go forward and let me refresh the site at the same time. I can spin maybe if it's not going to take a year. No. Give me blue. Give me blue. Blue, 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 blue. No. But that's fine. 2 credits. Thank you, Kingfisher. We will try if it works now. I request a new chart and then go here. You remember just 2 weeks ago or last week, we had the opposite picture. We had 1.4 billion in shorts and just 1 billion in longs. And I said we will go up more. And that happened. Then it flipped. And that was the sign to go down afterwards. And you see they're accumulating longs at the moment. We have a ratio of almost 60 to 40. And in my opinion, that's extremely bearish. And it matches very well to my expectations. So I don't know why people are longing from here. I mean, I don't know if it's a short-term operation they want to do. That's possible, but to be honest, I really don't know. Also interesting that Bitfinex, even I don't care about that, it's reducing its longs as well. Even the shorts maintains very low level, but on Ethereum doesn't look the same. So we have here 52 to 48 long short ratio. So that's here the key in my opinion, at least for Bitcoin. Let us go forward and let us. Hey, it happened. Whoa, that's cool. We see here on Binance at least it changed something, so we can see that it really would make sense to at least liquidate that part here. But yeah, I mean, I'm short-term bullish, but I'm not trading it, not yet at least. I mean, um, I don't trust Wall Street today, so I prefer to stay away and to check a little bit, to be a little bit careful, maybe to miss too long and to go up and instead wait if we can, if I can detect the local top and then jump in. But in my opinion, that looks very attractive to liquidate them because we don't have anything here almost. However, I'm still that's my opinion. Even if we liquidate them, in my opinion, the market will flip back to that side. Just related to the data we will see this week, and in my opinion, it's not going to be bullish. Absolutely not. So we can go just related to Kingfisher even to 23k. So 20, I was expecting 22.5 to 23 just because of some exchange walls, something we need to check, but looks it would match. Also here we need really patience. So I prefer then just to block a little bit of liquidity and you know just to place some orders and wait. Wow, on FTX that looks wow. I mean, look that's even we are not talking about huge. What's that? That's new. About huge volume anymore, liquidations volume. It looks very interesting. So also here it invites really to liquidate. Also here it looks very interesting. Liquidate them and go back and start to liquidate them. We are talking about really, 20 to 18. We need to see, but it's going to be, in my opinion, it's going to be very aggressive. It's interesting because no option trader was trading it. Just a few weeks ago, they traded it, but since then, nothing. They were more neutral to bullish or neutral to bearish, but no one was indicating a sharp move. Maybe we will see something different today. Let us go forward. So let us go forward and check what's happening here. Wow, I'm still a little bit shocked about this huge uh, put reversal calendar trade. That's really wow, just really wow. So let us check what's happening here related to the market drivers. First of all, we can see here what FTX is doing. FTX was accumulating here, or they purchased a lot, and since then it's in distribution, and it's very close to reach its bottom, what we had just before they started to accumulate. So we need to see if the X is here once again going to be the market driver. However, we can see here that's the aggregated. We lift it up, declined a little bit, lift it up, and it's declining, but maintains relatively a high level. So only if we start to nuke, I would expect really such a kind sharp move also related to CBD. However, we still see that the Bitcoin collateral futures are still just seeing a trend to the downside. And if we check here the futures with stablecoin collateral, well, it's doing exactly what the price is doing, so it correlates very well. If we go forward, we can check here, that's Coinbase. Coinbase is also indicating it's distributing, at least if we check that here. If we go and zoom out even more, we see it's not really big. It maintains maybe its level, and that's it. If we go forward, Binance, it's more indicating they are more distributing right now since yesterday evening. If we check Bitfinex, Bitfinex is even indicating a positive CBD, usually indicating more purchases than sales. Let us go forward. And here we see that the open interest on Binance is lifting up at the moment while the funding rate is declining. So also here we need to be very careful. If we check now what the market maker is doing, the market maker had here this night a fund flow of 3,300 bitcoins. And the strange thing is, usually he has a big activity just before a dump, but it was afterwards. So that could indicate that they were buying instead. That's something we need to check. And right now, but that's nothing. If we check right now, let me. Yeah, yeah. It seems they not big, absolutely not, but it seems they both. They bought some bitcoins. It would match 3,300 bitcoins. If we go forward, these guys are reducing their balances. These guys are rising their balances, and of course, retailers only up, only up. So very interesting. Yeah, we need to see, but it looks like a little bit very quiet, to be honest. Maybe too quiet, but let us go forward. So then let us go forward. Let us check maybe what Bitcoin is doing. We see that SPY is declining, SPX declining as mentioned before. Bitcoin, of course, as well declining with the nice volume, to be honest. And let us check what's happening here. I'll log. VIX, as mentioned, is lifting up, and Bitcoin is declining. So I think that's just a foretaste. That's the beginning. And that means we will see some big volatility. So it doesn't match to me. I mean, what they are expecting, that's maybe the last big dip and then up only. I mean, it's slightly bullish. These 22 million, they are not trading a sharp move and saying we will moon next, but it's really crazy, to be honest. It's, in my opinion, too crazy. But we will see. We really will see if I'm wrong and I missed a nice entry at 24K and we are not going up, or make the dip and then only go up. Wow, I don't know. I really sometimes, uh, I really don't know. So if we check here, that's Coinbase. Coinbase still indicating here 24,500, 25,000. Right now you see they don't want to let the price go down below 20,500, or at least they want to absorb at that price. We still have a lot of different walls to the downside, as you can see. Deribit doing exactly the same to the upside, 23,300, 24,000. So also not really useful. Bitstamp spot. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Binance spot. Binance spot indicating here 20,000, 19.5, 19.3, 19. Wow, what's happening here? And waiting at 23.5, but yeah, nothing big. Also here indicating a lot of liquidity waiting. Bitfinex spot. Bitfinex spot indicating at 20,600 and 20,000. So it seems 20,000 could be the local bottom, but we need to see. FTX perp. Wow. Waiting at 20,400, 20,600 and 21,400. A lot of stuff waiting here as well. Kraken doing exactly the same. 23, 25. Yeah, waiting at 20,500 as well. 20,000. Bitmax 25, 27, 20,400. They removed this wall, very interesting. Bitfinex derivatives doing exactly the same here. 22,300. That's it. I mean, if we check that here, we see what they are doing, right? We go forward, Kraken futures doing exactly the same. That's crazy. 21,400, 21,800. FTX spot. 20,000. That's it. So the last but not the least, Binance futures. Well, not indicating a lot. We see here what they are doing, right? At the moment, yeah, so 20, also 20, 20, 20, 20. So it seems they are waiting at 20 and 22,000. Um, so however, we will see. I don't see anything here that's extremely solid to say, okay, that looks like, So 20k looks solid at the moment. We can have a week to the lower side, but that's it. That's what I can see here at the moment. Let us check if they are maybe right now 1.4 million. Well, yeah, but that's not big. I mean, if they want to liquidate longs, they need more sharp move. That's not sharp. Phew. My personal conclusion.